everyone, in this next video we're going to be showing you some different ways that you can decorate your pots. So once you've created your shape, if you'd like to add any pieces to them, or if you'd like to cut any out, so if you want to make a tea light holder and you want some holes in it so that the light shines through, or if you want to add some decoration, if you had some shapes in mind that you wanted to add to it. So I'm just going to make a simple plaque shape just so I've got a nice flat surface so I can show you the different things that you can do. So I'm just going to roll this out. Likewise, if you didn't want to make a pot and you just want to do some decorating, you can just make a plaque, something you want to hang on the wall. So just roll yourself out a nice shape. Using your tool you can cut it to size, you can have it any shape you want. I'm just going to do a simple square just so that I have some nice surface area to work on to show you the different things that you can do. But if you wanted a love heart shape, a square, a star, a triangle, any shape you like, just a random shape, it's your piece, so you can do it however. Now I'm just going to start off with this square. So if you'd like to hang it, you might want to add some holes in. You could do this either with your tool, just press down firmly, lift up the corner so that it's going to go all the way through. I'll just lift mine right up so that you can see. Push it right through and just twist it so that you've got a circle. I've added in a straw to your packs, which make lovely circles. Just pop your straw through and it'll just pull out the little piece of clay with it. You've got some holes there to hang. You can add some string in and hang them up, hang it up on your wall. Likewise, if you just want holes for decorations, you can do that. If you want different shaped holes, you can use your tool to cut out a shape. Don't worry if it's rough while you're cutting out, because push that through, you'll have a hole there. You can use your finger to smooth them edges back. If you want to change the shape of the outside, you can use your tool to just cut away. You can have some shape on the outside, make it zigzagged. You can use your fingers to give it different shapes around the edge. Squeeze down and you can get a nice shape. You can use your fingers to tear parts away if you just want to pull bits off. Also, you don't have to cut right through, you can just use your tool to make patterns. Just press down, or use your tool to write. So you could do a letter. E for Emily. You can write full sentences, you can write just names, or you can use your tool to just make marks. Or you can use anything. So say you thought that a fork might make a nice texture, you can use that. Just anything that you have in your house. Lines, just have a practice. If you wanted to keep a bit of clay aside to practice some mark making, you can do that before you do it on your actual pot. Also, as well as cutting things out, cutting out shapes, you can add pieces onto your pot. So say you wanted to add a little square shape, and what we've got to do is cut out your shape, so whichever shape that you would like to put on. I've just made this little square just so it's nice and simple to show you. And then whichever surface area is going to be attached to your piece, you want to score that with your tool. So just make it nice and textured and give it a nice rough surface so that it sticks. And once you've done that, you want to add some slip. So here's my slip in the pot that I made in the previous video. And just brush a generous amount of slip on. Once you've done that, just attach it wherever you'd like it to go. Make sure you press down nice and firmly all over it to make sure that there's no air stuck underneath. And then using your tool, go around and seal all of the edges. Just gently go around and make sure all of the edges are nice and stuck down, because we want to make sure that it doesn't fall off once it dries or pop off when it's in the kiln. Just make sure that your pieces, if you're going to stick them onto the surface of a pot that you've made, just make sure that they aren't too heavy, that they're going to weigh too much, that they'll fall off. And just make sure they're a reasonable size for whatever you've made. If you wanted to stick something on top of that, you can add a smaller square on. So just do the same again. Add a little bit of slip on. And just attach that on top. Just the main part is make sure there's no air going to be trapped underneath, and that you've secured all of the edges so that no air can get in. It doesn't have to be square shapes you add on. You can add on, and we'll roll this up, make a little ball. You can add a little ball on. It's just the same principle every time. Just make sure you score it, add your slip and seal it on. You can also use your slip to create some texture. Make little blobs. Make them nice and thick. Once they're dry, they will be raised. This might be hard if you wanted to do it on the side of, if it's a little bit runny, they might dribble a bit, but also that can look quite nice, like a bit like a drip cake. You can have that running down, it'll create a nice dripping texture. If you're going to do it onto the side of your slab pot, if you made a slab pot, that's quite a nice flat surface area. And then you could just wait for it to dry before you flip it over onto another side. Also, you can make the top of your pot textured. So you can have a bumpy edge. You could have a nice scalloped edge. Use your finger. Or you can cut out shapes from the side. Just be very gentle when you're doing it, because you don't want your walls to collapse. So just make sure you're supporting the other edges with your hand. Just push that through. And you can have a little hole going through. Likewise, you can add any of these designs onto your pots as well. So just have a play around. Like I say, if you wanted to use a spare bit of clay first before you do this on your actual pot to see if you like the design or idea you have, you can do that. And just try out different things. You can make thin lines, thick lines, depending on your pressure. You can push it up like that, so you've got a bumpy edge. Just be careful when you are pushing through to not create a hole unless you want one. So just be mindful of how thick your piece of clay is. And then if you have any questions, if you have an idea of how you might want to design stuff but you're not sure how it would work, or if you think it's a good idea, feel free to email me and we can have a discussion about how you might like to decorate, and we can talk about what you're going to do and if it would work and how it would look. But most of all, just enjoy yourself, make something that you will like, and I'm sure it'll look fantastic.